what is the relationship or relative stage of growth of between manifesting positive things in one's life and self-realization?
All right. Well, manifesting positive things in one's life has nothing to do with self-realization. It has to do with manifesting positive things in one's life. Self-realization will ultimately reveal to you why it is possible for one to manifest positive things in one's life, simply because the nature of the self that we all are happens to be the Supreme Being, the one being, the very source out of which everything is occurring. In the words of the Master Jesus, which, yes, I was a student most of my adult life of the Master Jesus before, by the grace of Bhagavan, I was drawn to Bhagavan. My early life was attempting to awaken to Christ consciousness that I knew intellectually or believed intellectually to be dwelling inside of me. I had heard that Christ in you, your hope of glory. And the manifestation of things in the world comes out of Jesus' words, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Do you know that one?
All things will be added unto you, or something.
All things will be added unto you. Oh, my goodness. My goodness, what does that look at? Looking at that, what does that indicate? If you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, then you can have anything. Well, having anything means having your desires fulfilled. So for many years I was a trainer, training people in the processes of fulfilling desires, attaining, having, doing, being what one wants to attain, to have, to do, and be in time and space, in the world of time and space. But still, that has nothing to do with happiness. Does it? We'll look at it. Do you think it does?
No, ultimately, but it could be useful.
It might be useful, but it also can be a curse. You see, Bill Gates is the richest man in the world, and I'm certainly not accusing him. I don't know the gentleman, but it's not likely he's the happiest man in the world. And you can go back, Howard Hughes at one time was the richest man or one of the richest men in the world. But he certainly was not a happy man. And for many years I was the director, or a few years I should say, I was involved for many years as a student of the late and great Dr. Napoleon Hill. And for a few years I was the director of the Napoleon Hill Academies in Los Angeles, California. And that's when I used to teach principles and processes for attaining, achieving, and acquiring whatever it is that you wanted to attain, achieve, and acquire in the world. And Dr. Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, very famous book. Well, he wrote that book after meeting personally over 500 of America's most successful entrepreneurs, famous people in America who more or less you might say was the basis upon how America in its 1900s and 20s and so forth became a leading financial location on the planet. Well, these 500 men who were so important to America and its economy and its wealth, what many people don't know, most of them died unhappily. Didn't matter how much wealth they had, didn't matter how much fame they had, they really weren't that happy. You see, the world is not the location of happiness. There is no happiness in this world. Are you ready for that one?
Not sure.
Huh? None whatsoever. Pleasure? Oh yes, a lot of pleasure. The world, you might say, is one of the locations of pleasure, but not of happiness. So it doesn't matter how much you acquire in the name of being happy, you're going to also have to be on guard with it as to who's going to try to want to take it away from you, or the potential of losing it somewhere along the line, or like right now what's getting ready and is happening in the world situation. You have any idea what's happening in the world situation right now? The economy is going pretty much downhill. So those people who are depending upon their happiness from the economy of the world are also in great concerns. Many, not all, but many. So you see, you can't depend upon what we consider to be happiness coming from the world. That's not dependable. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. But where is happiness?
Inside.
Yes, it's in the self. It's in the pure awareness of being. When we awaken to and abide in and as and from the pure being of the self that we are. Now you can do prodiction around this hill, and while doing prodiction around this hill, you can pass by goodness knows how many who do not own anything, not a shelter to live in. Maybe they don't even know where their next meal is coming from. But look deeply in their eyes. Many, not all, but many. In other words, drawn to this hill are probably more sages than any other location on this planet. Certainly, any other location probably in India. This hill. Why? Because this hill is a manifestation of Shiva. It's not just a symbol of Shiva, it's a manifestation of Shiva. And so sages are drawn to it like bees are drawn to honey. And you can meet sages here who have nothing as far as the world's goods is concerned. Absolutely nothing. But you cannot surpass them in their bliss of pure being because they live in the pure being of the self. Even the children here, we contribute to the support in one school here, a Runachala Village school, and we go there occasionally. In fact, some of our people there a couple of days ago, and you see those children, not only just these children, but children in general. Most children are all naturally happy. That's the reason that is basically because they have not been taught ignorance yet. They're living in the pure awareness of being. They have not been educated to begin to start looking for happiness from the world. When they are no longer looking for happiness from the world, such as a sage, they're already happy. while they're a child no longer looking for happiness from the world, they're already happy. Nothing wrong in having affluence. I'm not saying that. Nothing wrong in having wealth. Not saying that. If you have it, if you have the good fortune of having it, if it's your good karma to have it. But that's not the location of happiness. Okay?